Hi, and welcome back to John Adams High School. My name is Jim Seitz. I'm the principal here at Adams, and we're extremely excited to be able to welcome students back into the building. It's been about 7 months since we've had students walking these halls. They're wearing masks now, so are our teachers, but we are really excited over the next couple of weeks as we will phase back in our students in person. We know that we're still going to have some of you working from home through full-time e-learning, and we're excited to eventually at some point get you back in here as well, hopefully. We want to share with you lots of information today. As you can see behind me, and we have some students that are in the building. We have individual teachers and administrators over here as we are giving out our locker combinations, letting students get into the hallways to visit classrooms, and also handing out ID pictures that were taken. If you missed today, we still have Monday night, October 5th, from 5 to 7 p.m. in which you can come in. We want to show you a couple of things that we're doing. You'll notice throughout the building that you'll see some X's on the ground as we have different lines of places where students need to stand. We will have our X's. You see our cafeteria over here. I'll explain to you a little bit later in the video how we're going to do the cafeteria, but we will have it set up so that way students can socially distance in the cafeteria and eat for a safe environment. We also want to show you, we have a couple of students here that are walking. We want to show you a little bit, hello Mrs. Bone, how we have our hallways divided up throughout the building. You will notice, hey guys, how we doing? You will notice that we have the hallways divided in half. We also have arrows, so that way we are keeping our students as socially distanced as what we possibly can. We also want to point out too, the hard work and the dedication that's gone in from our teachers. I will explain later in the video how we've met with all of our teachers individually and the efforts that they're putting in. I've never seen anything like it. We have not had a single teacher complain about the extra steps and the extra work that they have to put in. They've all jumped in with both feet. They're extremely excited to have students back, as we are too as administrators. We are looking so forward to having our students back. Over the next 20 minutes of this video, we're going to explain both within the two different videos that we've created. One will focus on e-learning, full-time e-learning students, and one will focus on the hybrid model students. So we're going to walk you through what you can see here. Look forward to seeing at John Adams High School as we finally get to welcome back our students to begin the 2020-2021 school year. There's that bell. That means it's time to go, and we're going to move on to the next part of our presentation. So thank you.
Now we'd like to move on to the next part of our presentation. We had stated that in the two different videos that we're making, we're going to focus on the hybrid model for our students who are returning in person, and then also have an option for our students who are choosing to stay full-time e-learning. So now we're going to focus on the e-learning full-time students. And so we wanted, again, to explain to you, again, a little bit about what our students are going to be doing while they are e-learning full-time throughout the rest of the school year. We also want to let you know that if your student starts on e-learning, that does not mean that they have to stay on e-learning. And so we want to provide flexibility for you to be able to make that decision best for your students. If you feel that the situations have changed in the community, or you're more comfortable sending a student back, we want to make sure that you have that option. So please, if you do have that, you can talk to your school counselor. You can shoot me an email, and we can make that happen at any point. So we want to focus a little bit about some of our important dates that we are coming about. One thing too, that starting on October 5th, we will start a bell schedule that I will show you here a little bit later in this presentation. And so on Monday, October 5th, we will begin with our rephasing back in some of our students to our in-person learning. This does not change anything that any of the full-time e-learners will be doing on Monday or Tuesday of next week. On Wednesday and Thursday of next week, our freshman A through K students who are in person, they will be coming in person, and our L through Z students will be coming in person on Thursday. One thing, and we'll show you in our schedule here, as e-learning students, your full-time e-learning students, we are still going to put you into a cohort. So you still are, if your last name is A through K, you're still with the A through K group, and your last name is L through Z, you're still with the L through Z group. It's just that when we're talking about in-person learning, you will be doing that learning from home, and so we'll talk a little bit about what that means here a little bit later. So on Wednesday, if you are an A through K learner, you will be Google Meet live into your class on Wednesday if you're a full-time e-learning student. If you are a full-time e-learning student, on Thursday, October 8th, you will be live in through the Google Meet. The other days, you will be working on some type of asynchronous lesson. Friday, October 9th is fall break. Begins our fall break as we have teacher record day, so students will not have school on the 9th, the 11th, or the 12th. Then on Wednesday, October 14th, again, all students who are A through K, if you are home e-learning, because you're a full-time e-learning student, you will be in person, not in person, but you will be through a Google Meet with the in-person students. And then if you are L through Z on October 15th, you will be live through the Google Meet with the in-person students. So anytime that we talk about the students being in person, that is a Google Meet for you e-learning students. Then Friday, October 16th, all students will e-learn. So regardless if you are a hybrid student or not, you will e-learn. Then beginning on Monday, October 19th, we will begin our normal schedule. And so I want to take a look here. Again, illustrates the difference of the first 2 weeks. We wanted to get that out there as best as we possibly could. You've seen that already if you've looked at our document. And then here is the schedule that we will follow moving forward. So again, if you are an e-learning student, so you're a full-time e-learning student, we are still going to cohort you. So if your last name is A through K, when you are in class on Monday and Tuesday, when the rest of your A through K students are in the building, you will be on a Google Meet. Depending on the different options, and we'll talk about that, you may be on a Google Meet 4 days a week with your classes, but we'll talk about that as we move forward. So this is our schedule here that we will follow. Again, your A through K students are on the red day, and L through Z are considered part of the blue group. There again, we talk about the full-time e-learning students. So as we look into this, we divided our students into the hybrid model through A through K because we had 993 students, and L through Z we had 929 students. There are about 25% of our student population is choosing to stay full-time e-learning. Again, if you need to change that at any point for any reason, please let us know, and we will work to accommodate your needs. When we talk a little bit about our teaching responsibilities, we want to go over what the difference between synchronous and asynchronous learning means. So synchronous learning is learning that takes place in real time. So we have our teachers and our students, they'll be interacting together with each other. They'll be interacting either in person or through a Google Meet. And so one of the things that our teachers have just been outstanding about working through is how can they have our students who are at home learning full-time through e-learning interact with our students and our teachers throughout the synchronous day, throughout the lessons that are taking place in school. And so as we work through and have some microphones and cameras available for our teachers, we're real confident in the way that that's going to work. Then you also have asynchronous learning, and so that is independent work that is independent of the teacher. This is accomplished through pre-recorded videos, assignments, projects, or online discussion. And again, this really stays the same, regardless if you are e-learning or you are in person. Your synchronous learning is going to be with the teacher through a Google Meet. The asynchronous learning is generally going to be independent of the teacher. So kind of keep that in mind as we go through these different options. So one thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to provide a system, as we said, where we can have our e-learners, full-time e-learners participate with our students who are in person. And again, I cannot thank the teachers enough for the hard work that they have been able to complete with organizing this and putting this together, and just the planning that goes into this. And then the other thing that was important to us is that we were able to provide our teachers with some options that fit their classroom, their program, their curriculum the best. We know that we have a very diverse group of students and a very diverse group of programs that we offer here at John Adams High School. And so we wanted to be able to provide which we essentially came up with 2 different options. And so we want to explain what each of those options are. And we will be sending out this weekend the different options that each teacher has chosen. Again, this was up to the teacher. We have met with all 120 teachers, 110 teachers over the last 5 days individually, so that way we can explain, they can explain to us, and we can work on what their learning in their class looks like. So option 1. So each learning cohort will have, if they choose option 1, they will have 2 synchronous learning days with the teacher. So for our full-time e-learning students, that means that you will be with the teacher twice a week through a Google Meet. So if you're an A through K student, if your last name is A through K, on Monday and Tuesday, you will be with the teacher live through the Google Meet. If you are an L through Z student, on Thursday and Friday, you will be live with the teacher through a Google Meet. Then the opposite days, so the A through K students on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you will be learning through an assignment, through some type of a video, but something independent of the teacher, and then we obviously flip that around. So let me give you an example of option 1. So if my first hour class is using option 1, and I'm in that red group, so I'm in that A through K group, I will be on a Google Meet. So your full-time e-learners will be on a Google Meet with the teacher and interacting with the class on Monday and Tuesdays. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'll be working through an asynchronous lesson. Students that are in the blue group, so the L through Z students, full-time e-learners will be on a Google Meet with the teacher and interacting with the class on Thursday and Friday. And on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those students will be working through an asynchronous lesson. So that's option 1. Option 2, and really just kind of dependent. We have a lot of our IB and AP classes are choosing option 2. Some are choosing option 1, just depending on the structures. But option 2, each student will have 4 or 5 synchronous lessons each week. So what this means for you e-learning students, your full-time e-learning students, you're going to be on the computer 4 or 5 times a week, live through a Google Meet with your class and with your teacher. That 5th day, that Wednesday, when everyone is e-learning, some teachers are choosing to have a Google Meet again. Most are choosing to have an asynchronous lesson independent of them. Your teacher will communicate that with you. So let me give you this example. So if my first hour teacher is using option 2 and I'm in the red group, so I'm A through K, and I am a full-time e-learning student, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I am on the Google Meet, interacting with the students and the teacher. So it doesn't make a difference now if I'm e-learning or I'm in person. I'm going to be interacting with that teacher 4 or 5 days a week if my teacher has chosen this option 2. We do have some teachers who have been approved to teach remotely for various reasons. And again, which really doesn't have a great impact on the students that are e-learning, because you guys will be e-learning as well. So here we broke down kind of the explanations of the 2 different options. Our number of synchronous days, if you're in option 1, is 2 days a week. Your full-time e-learning students, again, you'll be with the teacher twice a week through a Google Meet. If the teacher has chosen option 2, you will be live with the teacher 4 or 5 times a week. The number of asynchronous learning days would be 3 for option 1. Option 2 teachers will have either 1 or 0 e-learning days or asynchronous days. So here was a question that I really wanted to get everybody answered. What will each student do when they are e-learning? So if you're in option 1, you're full-time e-learning students, on those asynchronous days, you're working on an assignment independent of the teacher. Your full-time e-learning students in option 2, again, you will be participating live through those Google Meets. Again, we focused here on a little bit, just had a couple of important points. We've really reiterated this already, but these are the explanations of kind of what the e-learning students will be doing. Talk a little bit about professional plan for our teachers. This is important that I wanted to touch base with is our bell schedule. So our bell schedule, starting October 5th, every student at John Adams High School will be using this bell schedule. Your lunch that you will take will be based upon what's on your schedule. So your A lunch students are 11:39 to 12:09. Your B lunch students are 12:14 to 12:44, and so on. You can figure out the rest of those. But we want to make sure that everyone is following this schedule, because as we have students that are in the building learning and students that are at home learning, we must all be on the same bell schedule. There goes into some of our personal protective equipment. You're free to read that. We talk about our nursing services, our classroom expectations and procedures, our hallway procedures, which again will be important to you once you come back in the building. And so we've explained that also in our other video. We will have lockers for students when they come back. And so just so that way you are aware that your lockers, we're doing every other day. So we'll have red day lockers next to blue day lockers and so on. So that way we're trying to eliminate some of the congestion. We are still going to offer breakfast and lunch. We've worked very hard to get our school cafeteria looking appropriate for social distancing. So we have X's that we will place in different spots of the cafeteria. During our sea lunch, we will most likely need to go into the auditorium, so that way we can accommodate the larger group of students that we have in our sea lunch. This is a big one here I want to focus on for our students. So we know that this has been a tough road for the last 7 months. We also recognize that not having that contact with students in person been a very difficult thing. And so we know that for 25% of our students, that's still going to be the same. And so we want to make sure that if you need help, you're having anxiety, you're having depression, stress, that we are here to help you. So we have a wonderful SEL team with our school counselors, our social worker, our administrators, and we want to make sure that we are providing those resources for you. So if you need help, please reach out, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not uncommon if you need help. You are not in the minority if you need help, and we want to make sure that we are getting our help for our students. So please, mental health is a very important it's a very important thing for our students and our teachers. One quick thing about our CTE programs, those students who are involved in the CTE program, we've explained this a little bit earlier, but you're following essentially the same schedule, except you will always be e-learning through that. Visitors to school, if for some reason that you need to come into school, at this point we really aren't having many visitors, quite frankly, any visitors. But if you do need to come in, we'll have you sign in. You will need to wear a mask. You will need to social distance. And so we want to make sure that everyone's helping us out with that. We talked earlier about the flexibility that our teachers in our IB courses and AP courses have. And so we just wanted to reiterate that. We also want to make sure that we're providing services for our special education students. You can read about that there too in the document. We also talk about the cleaning of the building and how we're contact tracing. Again, this has been, we are all trained, and I lead the contact tracing team here at Adams along with our assistant principals. And so we want to make sure that if we do have a situation where we have a case, that we are identifying all the individuals who meet the close contact definition of 6 feet or closer for 15 minutes. So we will be reaching out that. Another important piece for you is your Chromebook or troubleshooting for replacements. So you can always get a hold of the individuals at Edison at 393-5970 for appointment. And we want to make sure that if you have any questions or issues with that you reach out to them. Finally, we will be offering tutoring for our students. We are still going to offer an online tutoring option. So the online tutoring option will be through Google Classrooms. Those will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 8:45 in the, it will be in the library, but for you, it will be through Google Meets. So you need to ask your teachers for the Google Meet code, and then also after school from 4:15 to 5. So we want to make sure that we're still working with our e-learning students. And so this is another instance in which we're going to provide services for you.
Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you with all the information that we just provided. Again, if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to email me or any member of our staff. We are more than willing to answer any of your questions. I'm standing here in the social studies hallway. Again, you can still see that we have more tape on the ground here. I want to reiterate a couple of things real quick before we finish for this presentation. First of all, again, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all the hard work of the custodians, of the teachers, of the paraprofessionals, of our security. This has truly been a monumental effort to get the school building ready to get our schedules right with our school counselors, to get our social work services and everything that we're providing, our food, our bus, our transportation, everything that we're providing. We have completely reinvented what school's going to look like. And I think that that's important for us to remember that, while we're extremely excited to come back into the building, this school's going to look a little different. This is not going to be the same school that we left in the middle of March. And we know that things are going to be different. We know it's going to be a struggle. We know that we're going to have to change things around here or there, and we will do our best to communicate with you. And so we ask for your patience as we navigate this system. We also, again, want to remind you that if you did not have a chance to come in today to meet, not meet, but to get your locker combinations, your locker assignments, and your school ID, that we have another opportunity Monday night at 5 p.m. from 5 to 7. Again, we'll see you very, very soon in the building. Please make sure that you're reading your emails, that you're listening to those phone messages, and we are really excited to have you back in here. So have a great one, and go Eagles!